Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
Australia in action again. That's the afternoon game. They take on Bangladesh in match number 34 from Dubai, and it's a double header. The second game of the day is going to be West Indies up in action, and we're going to be seeing them against Sri Lanka. This one coming to you from Abu Dhabi. Let's talk about the first one. Joy, Australia. Bangladesh not quite the side we've seen them now. They're without Shakib Al Hasan, without Saifuddin. They dropped Mustafizur for the last game. So Australia will really want to be saying that, okay, with a few of these gaps, we want to just steamroll them. Because remember, it's a dogfight between them and South Africa.
Yeah, this is a net run rate group. This is much more of a net run rate group. Here in our group, we're depending on Afghanistan, New Zealand result going one way for net run rate to make a difference. But in that group, it's a total dogfight. Australia and South Africa are going to fight it out. And it'll be very interesting because Australia, every time you think that they've got a victory and they've got some sort of trying to build some sort of a gap between South Africa come back, win a match, stay in it, Australia go down to England again. It's a very, very interesting situation. My point is that I also feel that, Australia is going to be a bit wary because I feel for somebody, a team like the West Indies has one good match in them. At some point in time, that West Indies juggernaut will play just really one really good match to show what they are. So Australia would be looking to try and say, this is the match where we put some points on the table. Mustafizur out, Shakib out. We've got to, really throttle this Bangladesh team. We've got to make the net run rate up out here.
Well, the Fizz was just dropped in the previous game. He's still very much part of their plans. Shakib Al Hasan is the one who's out. He will not be taking any further part. They brought in a replacement for him. But DK, in reality, they just haven't looked like a side who have managed to stand up. They didn't even qualify top of their group. They should have been in India's group. They've ended up in the other group, the group of death. So a lot to think about for Bangladesh at the moment.
Yeah, I think of all the teams, I do think Bangladesh is disappointed one and all. I think they haven't played good cricket. They're way better than what they've achieved in this tournament. I think they'll go back, reflect, and figure out how to move forward. What are the kind of pitches that they need to be playing in bilaterals to, improve their standard of cricket. Definitely not the World Cup they would have wanted, one of the early ones to move out of the tournament. So I think they'll be very disappointed with their effort because coming in, everybody gave them a big chance. They obviously got shocked by Scotland. After that, they came back. But, in the Super 12 stages, they have been nowhere close to how good they have been over a period of time playing these multi-nation tournaments.
In fact, I remember, DK, when we were on Cricbuzz live together during Bangladesh versus Sri Lanka. And after they put the runs on the board, you were very impressed with their early effort. Sri Lanka were not looking good in the run chase, and you said you could see them as a semi-final contender. So they've let their fans down, they've let you down as well.
I think, I'm the least of their botherations, but for the moment, they just need to definitely up their cricket. Because I had a lot of faith and belief in them because I thought the Mustafizurs, Shakib Al Hasans, Mahmudullahs, Mushfiqur Rahim, they've all been playing for a long time now. It's not like they've just started out. At least a Sri Lankan team, if it doesn't do well, I can understand a lot of players are playing probably their first World Cup. But they've actually overachieved in many ways. They've really shown a lot of resilience, a lot of determination through this tournament. Whereas Bangladesh, on the other hand, came after beating Australia, after beating New Zealand in home series where the wickets weren't great, but they came with some confidence saying we've beaten these teams, but they get smashed by Scotland in the first game and then claw their way back in that qualifiers, come into the Super 12 stage, and then it kind of completely opens up to show where they stand in international cricket for the moment, but they're definitely better than that.
Well, there's nothing really for them to achieve, so it's all focus on Australia to see what they can do, because the reason Joy was alluding to the West Indies is Australia's last match will be against the West Indies. South Africa's last match will be against England. If both fail to win, it's all down to net run rate because they'll be a level on points. Australia, quick look at their squad. They seem to have no real need to be looking outside the 11 that they've played so far, Joy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And just looking down at the squad, they have balance, they have everything. They're looking at Mitch Marsh more as a batsman than anything else at this point in time. But I think, given the fact what Glenn Maxwell has been doing for them, Marcus Stoinis is bowling a bit. They have two all-rounders out there. Pat Cummins can swing the bat a bit. This is a very, very decent side. They were smashed by England, but just remember, England is just perhaps, we look at Pakistan, and Pakistan, did a lot of damage to India. But I think England is a gun team of the tournament at this point in time, the way they're going about their game. So perhaps reading into Australia's result with England should be a bit, premature. They're a really good side. They could easily, make a big win over this Bangladesh side, and they're going to try their best to do it because they feel Shakib not there. Tamim has just not been there for this tournament, so that leaves basically Mushfiqur and Mahmudullah as the sort of core of that batting unit. And I think they reckon if they get through, Stark can get early wickets, I think they reckon they can get a big win here.
That's on the bowling side, DK, but how big a positive is the form of David Warner and Aaron Finch? Because early on, that was a concern. We put it up. David Warner came back with a statement saying, listen, don't judge me. I haven't played enough cricket yet. Came back with the big innings.
Yep. Obviously, he had that one inning where he got a 60 and he batted really well against Sri Lanka. But again, against Australia, the batting unit crumbled. I think they have left out a Mitchell Marsh, who they've backed over a period of time to bat at 3. So that left a kind of a gaping hole there because they've kept the batting order in such a way that, they have top 2 who are 5 powers, and then they have a Mitchell Marsh. And then in case all 3 wickets falls, then they're going to send a Steven Smith there. But now Steven Smith is batting at 3 for them. So I don't know if they've really planned for that. I have a feeling they might either go back to Mitchell Marsh or Josh Inglis, one of the two, and play him at 3. Because I think having an Ashton Agar at this stage as an all-rounder makes their batting look a lot more fragile because they have a Matthew Wade and a Marcus Stoinis there batting at 5 and 6. So they have some questions there. So I have a feeling they could probably make that one change in the batting order because they need that one proper batter at 3 so that the rest of the batting kind of understands what they need to be doing. Otherwise, the Glenn Maxwell comes in a touch too early if there's a couple of early wickets, which is something that they won't want again. So that's something they'll be looking into. That's the one change. The bowling looks pretty solid. It's only whether a question of are they going to go the all-rounder route with Ashton Agar or are they going to add that proper batsman, Josh English / Mitchell Marsh there. That's the only question I feel they need to be answering.